we're going to be using CLR against rust on this engine head. So let's get it. So on my last video you saw that this 99 in tank won't bolt up to this 96 head, and that's, well, the injectors, the fitting, and everything else. So wasted $20 on this, but I wasted $13 on some calcium line rust remover. This doesn't have that much rust as it appears. That was just with a buff pad, and it actually comes off pretty easy, but there's just so much inside of there that I'm going to tear down the engine and soak it with this stuff. So right now I'm going to start breaking this down. I'm taking off all the cams, all like the water neck. Oh, I'm burping a lot. And taking off this backside where the water exits out. I forget what it's called, but we're going to start working on that, tearing this thing apart and removing also the lifter, the oil lifters, I guess you call them, or the, yeah, valve lifters. Oh my gosh. Removing those, and we're going to be replacing it with these. So, and then tearing down this engine also. So let's get to it. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I already loosened all these the cam caps to that sit down, the actual cams. I'm now going to take off the actual cam gears, and I already have everything labeled. Left, right, water neck sits right here, so I can kind of lay everything out and not get it lost. So I'm gonna start working on that, trying to get all this stuff off. I ended up getting all the cams out, and well, I started labeling all the bolts, and I'm gonna label everything else, put them in bags, and then soak them. It's actually coming out pretty good, better than what I expected. Hopefully I can clean everything off. Some of these solid lifters are, let's see if I can get one off. I'm glad I took them apart because, as you can tell, so focus, there we go, it's pretty messed up. So gonna take all these apart, put them in bags or a box, and soak them with everything else. These also, I mean, they're not that tore up. I'm pretty surprised, but if I did not take them apart, it was going to be bad. So again, trying to save this head. These do have the better cams, and well, it's going to work with my build. Plus, it'll match up with the engine perfectly. But as you can tell, there's a, yeah, if I didn't do this now, it was going to tear up the engine even worse. Some of the stuff's easily removed. I mean, I'm scraping it off as it is. And I got the front water neck off because I'm going to be pulling this water neck off of this 96 head and putting it on this 99. And then also, you take this back part off and practically everything else, and just get it prepped. So I put the CLR in there, and it is coming out pretty good. It's actually doing something. Working with chemicals, it's doing something. Look in there, you see all the junk that's floating up to the top. That's always a good sign. Let me push that one in there a little bit more. I'll add a little bit more water to that. And over here, as you can see, there is oil coming up. You know, it's actually doing what it's supposed to. And I diluted this quite a bit. So put about 2.5, put a little bit in here, about 1/4, and I'm going to let it sit for about 2 hours just to get all this gunk. But as you can tell, I'm going to put my finger in there, and it's already doing, I'm just wiping it, and it's already removing some of that stuff, which is amazing. Yeah, I need to cover it a little bit more. It's barely getting on top, but you see it bubbling. I'm not going to stick my hand down in there, but if you look, the cams are looking pretty good. I'm surprised, but well, I'll give you guys an update within 2 hours. I'm not really going to work inside the garage with this stuff because it does release a chemical smell, and I'm just going to let my garage vent. So it's been about 3 hours, and just look at all that junk that's in there. I mean, it's cleaning it up. So I'm going to start pulling these out. I already did these. I should get another solid lifter caps or solid lifters, but I'm not. I just flip these over. They're going to be fine. Probably not the prettiest, but they'll work. So I'm going to start working on these, and I'm going to clean one up, and then, well, actually, I'll show you a comparison real quick. Let me get one of these out. So just in comparison of one another, look how nasty that is. And it'll look almost exactly like that when I'm done. So I'm going to finish cleaning these up, and I'll show you the head real quick also. Look how just disgusting that is right there. But it cleans it up so well. You know, I'm surprised on how well it came out. So gonna end up finishing this up, or the lifters, and then I'll get back with y'all. I just, you know, don't want to give you or put you guys on boring time lapse because that's just annoying, and I'm trying to get away with that. Might do one later, but not right now. So let me get back to you when I'm done cleaning this. So let me show you what I'm doing to these since they are getting cleaned off. I figured I'll at least show you just in case you ever find a head that's really messed up and you're trying to save it. So again, let this sit for 3 hours. I'm going to now take this cap off and see how it still has all that junk on there right there. I'm going to put it in this little container while I clean off the rest of this. I should be replacing these. These are $100. Solid lifters are $150. But I don't have the money. And I know I can clean them and have them working just as well. There's a little crack right inside of here. I just got a small screwdriver, putting it through there, cleaning out all the junk if there is any. Then take the rag, wipe it down. Now do the outside. And came out pretty good. Now the top's the only problem that I'm going to probably have with this one. They're not that pretty, but see, pretty good. Not perfect, but it'll work. Take this one out, clean it. And the front side's pretty horrible too, where the cam was sitting. But the back side's pretty good. So, see that? Take a little scuff pad that I have, and I just rub that around. Knock off any junk. It makes it look like brand new. It still has pitting in there if you look at it. You know, the little marks right there, that's pitting. Now go on the back side. Scuff it up. Get off the junk. Now I do it for all the sides. Now this should work. You know, kind of embarrassed I'm not replacing these, but I at least want to show you all that you guys don't have to dump in a bunch of money to do a Frankenstein build like I'm doing. Well, it's really not a Frankenstein build anymore because, well, I'm using the 1999 head off the Miata. But just clean it up, make sure everything's knocked down flat. Looks good. And you see how it has that pitting on side? On that side, we're just going to place it down. These are solid lifters. Again, with solid lifters like this, they ain't going to do anything. I mean, you can just replace the caps if you needed to. But I'm just trying to make this work. Dumped a lot of money into it. Got it all done. And you do that with every lifter, it's going to come out fine. I'll show you one. The first one I did. And yeah, nothing in. Might be a little something, I guess. but it's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna come back anyways and put grease on them. So I already pulled this thing out once. I am probably about to pull it out again. Been letting it soak. Bad thing is, one of my cams is messed up. And so I'm just gonna order a new set off of eBay. Kind of sucks. There's just a bunch of pitting in there. So let me try to find one where it was pitting at. And as you can tell, it's already starting to rust again. But that's just like surface rust because there's no grease on it. There it is. No, let me put you guys down and find it for you. So I found it. It was right there. Trying to get close, but if you can't hear it, but when you scratch it along, you can hear my fingernail like catching the metal. So that's bad. Let me pull this out. I'm gonna set it outside and probably gonna clean it with some water. So I know this isn't in the best lighting, but I just want to show you what it looks like. And I'm trying to get it before it all dries up, because now it just loosened up all the stuff and all the stuff inside, all the carbon, as you can tell. But I'm gonna give it a quick power wash. I'm gonna use some purple power mixed with some water, spray it on there, and then power wash it off. Again, it's hot out here, so it's gonna disappear or like re-glue itself. So I'm gonna hit it with a quick power wash. Just not even gonna throw you guys on time lapse. Just gonna clean it real quick and then show you the next steps. Also cleaned off the cams, and there is signs of pitting, especially right there. A lot of pitting. So these are going to go directly into the trash because I can't use them. So let's look at the head now. So the head looks beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that.
Say, would you look at this? You know what I mean?
Yes. No, but for real, it looks a lot better than what it was. It's actually really clean. And there's no signs of pitting anywhere. It was just on the cams, which doesn't surprise me. No scratches down there. It just needs a quick scuff and WD-40. Make sure it looks clean. So I'm probably going to take this out back, let it dry, not let it sit out in front of my house and look like a retard. So I can at least put WD-40 on this stuff so it doesn't rust while all the water's drying, and to let the water evaporate, and the oil WD-40 will lubricate it and not let it rust. So let's go move this. So I'm outside now. Move the engines or the head back to where it could get some sunlight. The sun's behind the clouds right now, so again, just trying to let all the water get evaporated from here, let it heat up, and so I can actually put WD-40 on it right after all the water's gone and actually make it look good. So y'all, how can I put this? This video is going to be too long. So I am now editing it and realize that I need to make it shorter. It was going to be like an hour long or 45 minutes, I think it was going to be. So that's the end of this video, y'all. I appreciate you guys watching. CLR actually did the trick. I already have the engine built. This is like way in the past where I did this, and this is me in the future in a sense. So I appreciate you guys watching the video, and stay tuned for the next video where I install the head. Again, have a good day.